I'm in Riga. It's a hell of a party town. It's great value to come to most of the time. It's the capital of Latvia, which used to be in the Soviet Union, but now I'm happy to say is a fully paid up member of NATO, so it's quite safe for now. But hopefully you'll come with me on this trip. Let's start it at the beginning, back at the airport. Oh, good lordy, it's 5:15 in the morning. This is Heathrow Terminal 5. I don't know what the polar opposite is to my happy place, but this is a hell of a competitor. To be fair, Terminal 5 isn't actually that bad. The taxi here this morning, however, wasn't great. I asked for them to arrive at 4:40. He arrived 20 minutes early. I asked him to wait at the end of the road so as not to wake up any of my neighbours. He came into my road and left the engine running, waking up all of my neighbours, so I will have to appoint my wife envoy to unpick that diplomatic crisis while I'm away. Security now. Will I get through with my dignity? Place your bets now.
Please make your way to gate A5.
I've just come down to gate A1 because it's the quietest part of the airport, and I've had the added joy of watching a man have to run for his flight, missing it by nearly seconds. They were putting out final call after final call. He looked absolutely panicked. Really brings joy to my heart watching someone else have a more miserable time in an airport than me.
Good morning, everyone. Please remain seated.
Now, as always, I do not talk to the camera on a flight because I don't want my fellow passengers thinking I'm a twat. Honestly, there could be a catastrophic failure. We could be hurtling to the ground and our imminent end of days. And this could be my last opportunity to send a message of love to my family in the hope that the SD card on the camera is recovered and they one day see it. And I still wouldn't talk to camera through fear of everyone around me thinking I'm an idiot.
British Airways.
And we're here in Riga. British Airways got me here on time and in comfort. I know, even the cabin crew looked surprised as passengers were getting off with smiles on their faces. Now we've got a dilemma. It's nearly time to check into the hotel. I'm excited about the hotel. It looks pretty good. But there's two ways to get into town. The bus, which I think is about €1 or €2, or a taxi. I don't know how much a taxi costs. I know it's about a 20-minute drive direct. What shall we do? Leave this with me. I'm going to flip a coin because I kind of want a cheap couple of days away, but I also want to enjoy myself. And we've got a nice hotel, which you'll see. What would you do? I'm going to flip a coin and you'll see the result in a second. Yes, I got a cab. No, I wasn't happy about it, but yes, I was pleasantly surprised. It came straight into town. It doesn't do that annoying thing that a lot of buses do, which is start deviating off all over the place for the benefit of others. It was also cheap. €3 if you just want to get it into the middle of the city, or what I did was spend €8 on a ticket that means I can use unlimited public transport for the next 3 days. I've got a tear rolling down my cheek. It's because it's quite chilly. We are in the Baltic. I haven't been overwhelmed by the emotion of getting public transport for 3 days for €8. Although, having said that, as a Londoner, I probably should be overwhelmed by public transport for 3 days for €8. Another thing I'm hoping to be overwhelmed by is my hotel, which is just up here. I'm very excited. The reviews of it are sensational, and it didn't cost much at all. So you might see my spirits get absolutely battered in real time if it's a bit, rubbish. Oh yes, this will do. Let me spin you round and I'll give you the tour. It's not quite as big and as grand as sort of the Booking.com photos showed, but that is Booking.com. They can be a little bit deceitful, not massively deceitful, but a little bit. The Freedom Monument is right there. I don't know whether you can see it, but we are right in the middle of the city. And this was £90 a night. 90 quid a night. In London, this would be, 300-400 easily. You'd struggle to even get a hostel in London for 90 quid. That is that is a joke. But no, I'm pretty happy. And there's the spa, which we will go down and look at. I'm a bit nervous whether I'll be able to film in the spa. I don't want to start taking cameras down and all sorts and then have to spend a night not in my nice hotel bed, but a Latvian prison because I've been suspected of filming women swimming. Let's not get bogged down in all of that because I wouldn't do it. There is the minibar over here, which I've got to be very careful with because they've left a bottle of wine on display and the fridge is full of goodies, tempting goodies. But the price list, however, does not fall into line with the greater bargain of the hotel. A beer, €6. Even a can of Coke, €4. Chocolate, €6. Crisps, €6. Goodness me. So, yeah, if I have a few beers later on, I'm going to have to keep my discipline with that. I don't like minibars. And they took a €100 deposit on my card at the at reception. So, yeah, there'll be no getting out of it. Let's take a seat in the cuck chair and I'll tell you the plan. I'm definitely going to have a quick shower and then we'll head out and see what's going on. There are things that I want to do. I want to go see the Grand Market. I want to go to the cathedral. I'm just padding for time. I want to go out and see the bars and everything like that. It's a party town. But there is a massive television and radio mast, I think, from the Soviet era, and you can go up it, but it's right on the very edge of the city, so I'm not quite sure whether I can walk over there or whether I need to get a taxi or what. So we'll figure that out. But I think shower, food, maybe a beer, and we'll have a little bit of a walk around. Do you want to come? Hopefully. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, because that helps out. Hit like and drop a comment if you've been to... No, actually not. If you haven't been to Riga. If you've been to Riga or you haven't been to Riga, drop a comment. Oh God, that was a zebra crossing. I didn't realise it was. And I held the tram up and we were just both standing there looking at each other, which was a bit embarrassing. I went down to the spa in the hotel, which was stunning. Swimming pool, hot tub, steam room, sauna, gym. You know what a spa is, well, some of you might not. But I couldn't film anything in there. It wouldn't be appropriate. Tomorrow morning, it's much quieter. There are a lot of people in there at the time. So I'll try and get you some footage. Now, I was going to go over to the massive TV tower on the outskirts of town and go up it, because it's sort of one of the tallest towers in Europe. But you can't go up it currently for reasons I'll come into in a minute. And then I was going to go to the Science Museum, which you could go up and look over the city. But you can't go up that either because, sadly, someone went up it and decided to come down it, not by the staircase, if you know what I mean. So I'm now going to go to St. Peter's. The reason being, tonight the weather is fine. I'm absolutely in love with this weather. But tomorrow it's much more cloudy, so I want to go up and get a few of the of Riga while it's clear. No idea where I'm going. We are here. I'm not entirely sure how we get in. There are pubs and bars everywhere in the old town. Like I said, it's very popular with stag and hen dos. But if you're coming here on a hen do, ladies, or maybe if you're a man who wears high heels also, don't wear high heels because the whole of the old town is cobbled and you will get yourself into trouble. I just tried saying thank you to the girl at the till in Latvian. Podias, I will get it. She looked at me like I'd just invaded her country and was putting them all to the sword. That's how offended she was. But I will get there. Brilliant, €9 this cost to go up, and there's no lift, or doesn't seem to be. And I don't know how high it is either. There is an elevator, and the amount of chairs to wait for it shows how busy it must get here. Podias? Podias? Am I there with it? Am I nearly? Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, he was equally offended by my efforts with Latvian. So that over there is the Science Museum, which you could go up but you can't anymore. And that over in the distance there is the TV tower. You can see how big that is, and you can't go up that either, and you used to be able to. Apparently you can go up that one though, and there is a cocktail bar at the top, the Radisson Blu, so we might go and do that in a second. I can only apologise for any wind noise on the mic. I don't have control over the weather yet. I'm working on it. This is a little bit concerning. Our friend the lift operator has been down there for some time and doesn't seem to be coming back up, and there's now a crowd of people huddling together in the cold like emperor penguins. Could we be stuck up here for the night? Well, I do have a battery pack and about 1 terabyte of storage on the camera, so there will be content in it if we are. Thank you. Well, that was €9 spent. The jury is out whether it was €9 well spent, but I quite liked it. It was all right. Something horrendous just happened. I tripped, fell and landed in a pub with a pint of Pilsner. And now I've got a real problem because I need to let you in on a secret. I'm here primarily filming a TikTok, which is an advert. I travel a lot to film TikToks, which are adverts, and you guys kindly come along with me and see the whole thing. But I was going to frame Riga with how cheap it is, what a cheap place it is to come and visit. But the problem is I just paid €8 for a pint, which is not cheap. Not cheap at all. That's very much London prices. I don't know what I'm going to do with this post now. I cannot tell you the raw panic I am now in. Like, the whole reason for me coming here was to go, oh, look at it, look how cheap it is, look how cheap everything is, what a cheap few days away. And I've been here a few hours, and apart from the hotel, which is a bargain, everything, oh, and the public transport is a bargain. Okay, literally it's just the price of a pint which has caught me out, so maybe all is not lost yet. Pray for me, pray for this post. That is the building you and me are going to now, and this is the Freedom Monument. Now, the Freedom Monument is just that. It commemorates a war, the Latvian War of Independence, which was just over 100 years ago, I think 1918 through to 1920. Please don't take offence if I've got that wrong, where they fought against Soviet Russia. Latvia really don't like Soviet Russia, and they were part of the USSR for a long time. And when the USSR all came crumbling down in the late 80s, early 90s, they got their freedom and they all joined hands with the other Baltic states, and there was a big party, and they're happy. Now, we are close to Russia here. We're a couple of 100 miles away, and everywhere you go in Riga are Ukrainian flags in support. Now, I'm not going to make this post politically charged. I'm not going to go into it because that's not why I'm making it. But this lot, a lot of people here remember what life was like, and they support the Ukrainians. The positive for me is Latvia, along with the other Baltic states, are part of NATO and part of the EU, so I like to think that we are completely safe. If Russia was to try anything, then all hell would break loose, so I don't think they will. They have these little e-bike things which are absolutely tiny. I don't know how I'm going to show you. It's sort of up to my knee, and I'm sort of 6 foot. They are very, very small. I really want to go on one, but then equally, sort of, I don't really want it all to go wrong and me to have to spend a night in a Latvian hospital. Although I'm sure the Latvian hospitals are great, I want to do sightseeing and having a few bites. I don't want to be sort of underneath a bus with one of those between my legs, so to speak. Oh my god, I'm terrible at this vlogging thing. So the flights, I never told you the price of the flights. On BA from Heathrow to Riga, it was about £120 each way, just over 120, £240 in total. You can get over here much cheaper than that, but you need to fly from Stansted, and let's be honest, I wasn't going to do that. And you would need to go on Ryanair, sort of the Wetherspoons of the sky as it's now being described. So yeah, you can get over here for 50 or 60 quid each way. Mine was 120 each way, but it was a better timed flight. You know, it's all relevant. And you get a bit of luggage allowance and everything like that. If you're getting a flight for 50 quid, then great, but you are literally taking a small rucksack with you and you're having to fly from a less desirable airport. Well, I say it's less desirable. You might live very close to one of the less desirable airports, in which case to you, it's not less desirable, it's just home. I'll stop being horrible. And here we are at the Radisson Blu. We're trying to go to the bar on the top floor. Now, I know it's probably going to be expensive because the guy who told me about it was from New York. And if someone from New York says something's expensive, then, yeah, you sit up and pay attention. I just got hit in the back by a woman who swung a rucksack at me. And I didn't get angry for two reasons. There were a lot of people around. One, she was clearly under the influence of, I'd say, multiple different substances, and two, the rucksack was completely empty, and then she broke out giggling. So yeah, it made me jump more than anything, but we are where we are, and that could happen anywhere in the world. In fact, to be honest, that would be the least of your worries in the fine city I come from. I'm glad I didn't stay at the Radisson Blu. There seems to be a stag do atmosphere here. This isn't going to be cheap, is it? I'm not going to be getting a pint for £2 up here, let's be honest. Sorry. Well, this is very nice, but when a bottle of Corona is €8, you may as well get a cocktail. So I've gone for an old-fashioned. It's not on the menu. They said that they do them. God knows what I'm going to be paying for it. Most of the other cocktails are about €15. God, that is London, isn't it? It's a very nice space. I couldn't get a seat by the window because they're all taken, and then it's all empty in the middle here. Annoyingly, there are some people who are sat at tables by the window, and they don't even have drinks in front of them. They've come in, had their one drink, finished them, and are now just enjoying the table. There should be a rule. If you're sitting there looking at the view out the window, you need to have an active drink in front of you. If I ever buy this place, that'll be how I run it. They did ask if I wanted food, but I declined because the point of the TikTok was supposed to be how cheap Riga is. It would be quite ironic if I returned from Riga in financial ruin, and yeah, that would have only been sped up by me ordering food up here. I've now moved next to the window and I'm overlooking the city, and all of my Riga memories are flooding back. The bridge that we came over on the bus, St Peter's Church, the tower that we went up, the bus stop down there where the woman hit me with her rucksack. Oh, I've only been here a few hours, but it already feels like a lifetime. They've got cool toilets, so we will get out of here while my credit card still has some limit, and I think we're going to do a bit of a crunching gear change. I've found an Aussie backpackers bar and hostel to go to. If that isn't cheaper, then I'm giving up and going home. Here we go. So I accidentally came into the bar just before the Aussie bar, and it's amazing. It's the most nerdy bar I've ever been into. It's heavily Star Wars, but all films from the 80s and 90s. Little models everywhere, football, arcade games. A pint of Brooklyn Pilsner, €5.50, which isn't great. I'm not going to say it's great, but we're going in the right direction. That's a bit better. That's much cheaper than London, so at least I'm getting that far. I love this. It's brilliant. I could spend all night in here. I won't, and there's not many people in here because I think the whole thing of having sort of a nerd-based bar is kind of counterintuitive. They tend to keep themselves to themselves. Okay, that was my mistake. That is an unbelievably cool bar, and now we're going literally here to the Aussie bar where hopefully things will get even cheaper. Oh my god. Well, the Aussie hostel didn't have any Aussies, not that I'm complaining about that. That's just a joke to my Australian friends. What it did have was a lot of youngsters from Surrey, which is the best county in the UK and where I am from, but I've got to be honest, the youngsters from there, especially after a few drinks, are quite annoying. So I had my €5 pint, which is not bad at all, and got the hell out of there. Shall we have some food? I say we go for a local delicacy. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's do it. It was €9 for my Burger King meal deal, and I know that the hardcore travel enthusiasts amongst you are screaming at your screens right now saying, why didn't you go and get a local delicacy? Well, I've got to have one eye on this TikTok post comparing prices between sort of the UK and Latvia, and Burger King meal deals are quite a good way of doing that. It is cheaper, it's about 30% cheaper, but we are now in Party Central, which doesn't really seem like Party Central. There's a bit of music being played up and down, but then we are midweek, and I can see a sign in the window there saying shots €1. I'm not going to have a shot for €1, but I am going to try and find a beer and hopefully get it in at around €5. That seems to be the benchmark. For anyone outside of the UK, what we're used to paying now is between about £6 and £7 a pint, depending where you are in the country. So anything around €5, that's about £4.30, £4.40 a pint. That's good value. That's worth coming over for. €6. This whole strip here does feel a bit like when the cannons fell silent on the Somme, because it's midweek. It's all peaceful and calm, but I'm sure at the weekend it can really kick off. The rain is really coming down now. There is a bar back there which is advertising 50 shots for €25. You're on a hell of a night out if you're buying 50 shots for €25. Good luck to all of you and all involved. So the whole mood of the place has changed completely. As I came out the bar then, there's hordes of taxi drivers everywhere, and they're not asking people to take them back to their hotel. They're trying to take people to strip clubs, because I'm guessing they make a commission for everyone that they take. Well, that was very fun, but the rain is really coming down and it's freezing cold. So I'll see you in the morning, which for me is about 8.5 hours away, but for you is now. And boom, it's the morning. The hotel was absolutely fantastic. I do have maybe 4 big concerns, but we've got breakfast included in our £90 a night hotel, so let's go get breakfast and then I will share my worries with you. Well, breakfast was absolutely sensational. I don't normally have breakfast, but I thoroughly enjoyed that, and now I've got a tummy ache, but I think it's a price worth paying. My 3 concerns. First concern is how much I actually showed you of last night, because all of the bars I went to had music playing very loudly, and I'm concerned about copyright and whether it can go out or not, so I might have to do a retelling of that story. The second concern is the TikTok that I'm being paid to come here and make. I think I'm going to have to radically change the direction of it, from it being a cheap city to it being a party city, and there are community guidelines around how much that sort of stuff I can talk about within it. And the third and final concern, not a biggie, the weather today is absolutely atrocious, so Riga is not going to be popping off on camera. 3 concerns, 3 worries, and I have no option but to move with them, as the kids would say. But ultimately, let's be honest, it's not like working down a coal mine. One big faceless corporation that has its talons wrapped firmly around the lovely city of Riga is Bolt. If you need to get a cab, then Bolt, Uber isn't really a thing here. Bolt is how you do it. Bolt have got control of all of the e-scooters, and hilariously, I don't have the guts to try one. Because I can't be bothered. If I crash it, I can't be bothered to lose the rest of the day doing paperwork or God knows what else. They have hire cars, which are just sort of like a car club thing. The cars are just dotted around, parked by the side of the road, and through the app you can just hire them and unlock them and drive off to where you need to go and leave them in another allocated parking bay. And here we are at Riga Central Market, which is apparently the biggest market in the whole of Europe. Basically what they've done is they've got 4 massive Zeppelin hangars, and when they booted the Germans out, Latvia don't like the Germans much either, they converted the Zeppelin hangars, because they had no need for them anymore, into a market, and it really is a whopper. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on markets in any shape or form, but it does kind of feel like the same sort of market you're familiar with, just much, much bigger. Some absolute weapon just threw a load of food to the seagulls. Gulls really are a plague no matter what country you're in, aren't they? It's quality. It's quality. As soon as you get inside, there's not people selling sort of bleach and fake Calvin Klein boxer shorts out the back of a Escort. It's nice. For anyone not from the UK, an Escort, when I was saying there, that's a Ford Escort. It used to be a very popular car in the UK. That's not an Escort as in a lady of the night. We're now in the meat hanger. No matter what bit of what animal on God's green earth you want to eat, you can buy it in here. The smell is fine, but it's not helping my hangover, I've got to be honest. I'm not going to show you too much because it's not fair on the vegans. Or to be fair, it probably isn't fair on a lot of the meat eaters either. None of the animals go to waste. Not an ounce of the animals are going to waste, let's put it like that. One additional benefit to come in here is you really get an idea of how big the Zeppelins were. I know that's a bit of a side note and we probably shouldn't be talking about it because the Latvians didn't want them here, but the Zeppelins were big old things. I'm now walking down because I want to go on to the island, because despite the fact we can't go up the TV and radio tower, I do want to see it up close, and it means we get to walk over the bridge to get there, which looks quite fun. The river, apparently in the summer, in the warmer months, there are boat trips going up and down it that you can go on, and they take you up one of the canals, and it looks really, really nice, but unfortunately this time of year it's not on the menu. Well, I wasn't expecting this on a random bridge in Latvia, but there's straight up wisdom being dropped upon us. The fear of looking stupid is holding you. I seem holding you back, but couldn't agree more. And one day you're going to look back and wonder why you ever worried. Absolutely love that. Talking of worry, I haven't worried really about my safety or anything like that in Riga. It all seems very chill, but now I'm in the middle of this bridge. I'm realising that if I was confronted by someone who wanted to do me harm or take stuff off me, then I would have only 3 options, and that is a very long sprint in either direction, or I go over into the water, which is flowing fast and looks freezing. So, yeah, I feel completely safe in Riga, but my that feeling of safety is being tested a little bit on this bridge. Well, this has been a bit of a trek to get down here, I can't lie. I may use an e-scooter to get back, despite the fact that I hate going on e-scooters. I just don't think they're very stable. I might use one to get back. The tower, we can barely see the top of it because it's in the clouds. It's 1,200 foot tall. It's the tallest tower, broadcasting tower in the EU. It was built by the Soviets back in the day, and yeah, there's one in Ukraine which is still standing and one in Russia which are taller than it. The tallest broadcasting tower in the world is in North Dakota. There you go, I'm dropping all sorts of information on you. You can tell I've just done a very long walk and read quite a long Wikipedia page about it, can't you? Well, the tower is absolutely massive, but then I would have been angry if I'd got up close to it and it wasn't, if it was just sort of an optical illusion from the city. There's signs up everywhere saying that you can't film, you can't take photographs, so they've obviously got security concerns over something, and there are security guards there, and I've already taken the mick a little bit with filming, so we'll get going. The whole area is a bit weird because it was built by the Soviets, and sort of the traffic barriers and stuff like that are clearly Soviet, and that whole era sort of in my mind, feels so long ago and so recent at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Well, that was just a bit unnerving. 4 random guys came marching towards me holding strange objects. I've got to be honest, my bumhole did go a little bit tight. But no, they're just playing disc golf. There's a whole disc golf course next to the tower. That's that thing where you throw frisbees into the little cages. I've never done it. I would like to do it. I don't know why I haven't done it. I mean, the barrier to entry is not that incredible. It's a frisbee and drive into one of the disc golf courses. But yeah, good luck to them. They did make me jump though. I did think I was being set upon. Oh, this is pretty cool. They've got the whole course here with the pars down here, and then this is the first hole with a little guide of where you're going. It's like proper golf, isn't it? I really want to give it a go. God knows how long it would take to get around. There are 2 guys that I just saw there, and they're carrying a little bag around with them with multiple frisbees in them, so they must have different weights and they must curve, and they were really good. They threw it and got it nearly into the... I mean, like I say, if you played it all the time, you would get quite good. I think it's one of those sports that I would love to get into. I just wouldn't want anyone knowing that I was into it. Okay, the rain's coming down, it's quite cold and it's overcast. I feel quite at home. And I've also just realised I spent that €8 on unlimited public transport and I haven't used any of it. I've just walked everywhere. Riga isn't that big a city. I mean, it's big, it's not tiny, but you can walk around if you're fit and healthy, which I am. I just grabbed this cheesy flatbread thing from the market for €2.50 and the woman serving said, oh, it is quite garlicky. So here's a top tip. If a Latvian says to you that something's quite garlicky, then it's bloody garlicky. It's going to be on my breath for weeks. I feel like I could kill a vampire simply by winking at them. And I found more of these little bikes, which I am desperate to have a go on, but a real telling sign on them is I haven't seen anyone riding them anywhere. I've seen quite a few people on the actual scooters, but the little bikes I want to give a go, no one seems to be riding them, and there must be a reason for that. They do look lethal. I just walked through a lovely shopping centre and on the way out was a sign saying GC Shopping Centre, shopping since 1938. And I thought 1938 was a hell of a year to start a business in this part of Europe. So well done to them for making it through, you know. I'm in the House of the Blackheads. It costs €7 to come in. It has been restored and is presented beautifully. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a history lesson because it's extensive as a tour guide pipes up. I could do a half-hour video without rest or repetition on the history of this place. But if you come to Riga and you want a break from drinking or walking, then pay €7, come in. You won't be disappointed. In the UK, we present our historical buildings incredibly well. It's still something we're very good at, thanks mainly to 2 organisations, the National Trust and the English Heritage. And this is on par with anything those 2 historical tyrants could offer. I found myself at the castle. There's a lot of police around because there's embassies as well, but this looks exciting. Let me spin you round. Look at this. I don't know what happens, so I don't know how long I show this to you for. I'll come back to you if anything exciting happens. Oh, they're turning. Well, that was exciting. We saw the changing of the guard. It was almost like I scheduled to be here at that time, which I didn't. All the embassies and everything are over there, so there's a lot of police about. I'm not really sure what I can point a camera at and what I can't. In London, they get a little bit funny if you start filming the outside of embassies. Well, would you believe it? I've been walking around Riga for 6 hours now, taking in the sights, sounds and the atmosphere of the city. But I'm going to nip back to the hotel quickly because I want to have a sit in the jacuzzi and maybe a little paddle in the swimming pool. Well, I don't particularly want to, but the spa is included as part of the hotel room cost, and I want to exploit everything they're prepared to offer me with it. Okay, sadly, I don't think you're coming with me. I was told to come up here and change into the stuff provided in the bathroom, and now I look like Father Christmas, an angel and a ninja have had a three-way, and I'm kind of the bastard son. I get to walk through the hotel like this. I've got little slippers on as well, which you can't see. Yeah, I don't particularly fancy going in a jacuzzi now, but I'm going to do it, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, that was absolutely lovely. I feel completely revitalised. Obviously, I couldn't show you any of it because there were people scantily clad in there. They had 2 different saunas at different temperatures. It's all very new. A steam room, one of those unbearable sort of salty steam rooms that make your eyes go all funny. Swimming pool, jacuzzi, gym, and all of it. And then all of the different treatments you can get. The big issue was I was the only man in there wearing swimming shorts in the Western style. All of the other men were in Speedos and very small Speedos at that. But I didn't let that detract from my enjoyment of the spa, and I didn't get any of the treatments. I didn't get a facial. Grow up. Now, it may be no surprise at all that your dear narrator here is quite hungry, especially after being in the sauna and barely eating. And it could be that sort of weird garlicky cottage cheesy bread thing I had for lunch that has put me in the mood for pizza. So I'm going to try and hunt down pizza, because apparently there are a couple of proper Italian pizza places. So that was the food hall in the shopping centre we were in earlier. I was just blindly following Google Maps to a well-reviewed pizzeria. I cannot complain at all, though, because it was €12 for an absolutely banging pizza. The beer, the Moretti, €3, which I thought was incredible. And then he said, no, that's just a promotion they do on a Wednesday. But yeah, €15 for a great pizza and a beer. In London, that would be probably 25. So I'm very, very happy. Now, I think we pluck up our courage and try and get one of the little trams. I just saw a couple of kids on one of the little toy e-bike things that I was thinking of hiring. The way they were wobbling around on it didn't fill me with confidence. It's something I should be doing. Another thing I shouldn't be doing is waiting for a tram. It's been 10 minutes. Nope, I was at the wrong bloody stop. That's 15. No, I'm not. There it is. There's one. That's the tram that I want going in the other direction. Yet then I just saw one going over there. And it's got one on the side, because I'm not an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. Don't start arguing with me over that. For God's sake, I'll wait for one more, but I've been here about 18 minutes now and life is too short. I will wait for the next one. But the one that was just over there was the one that I want going in the opposite direction. So I'm clearly on the right line, and it's got one on that side there. I mean, I'm not great with numbers, but I can tell the difference between a 1, a 2, a 5, a 10. Was it a 10? Well, that would have been infinitely quicker to walk. I'm sure for people who know the system, it's quick and easy. But if they can't make it easy to understand for an intellectual heavyweight like myself, then I would say that the fault is at the people who planned and laid out the tram system all those years ago, not mine. If you come to Riga, then for goodness sake, just walk. So this is the city centre, and it feels like any city centre, to be honest. It's not like the old town or anything down by the river. It's not sort of there's not a lot of beauty to it, but that's not a knock on Riga city centre. I'm just saying it's like every other city centre. I'm trying to find a bar simply to work out how much drinks are here and whether it's Old Town and all the stag doos and the partying that take the mick with the high prices because they can.
Šeit ir 70, 81. 067.
So mission accomplished in the actual city centre with Paul and Barbara. Paul watches the stupid little TikTok, so he came over and said hi, and the bar is actual Latvian, so I'm now officially not near all the touristy nonsense. I was told to drink whiskey sour, which I gratefully have, which was €6.50. In London, that would be probably 13 quid, 14 quid. So, yeah, just come to the city centre. Yeah, the city centre is where you want to come. The city centre is significantly cheaper than Old Town with all the touristy bars. That last pint was €4 and it was a lovely pint. Anyway, I'm going to a craft beer bar just up the road here, and then after that I'm going to get a Bolt or a taxi of some kind back to the hotel and Old Town. Oh yes, I'm having a much better time this evening. Now this, where I am now, Latvia, is an actual brewery. They actually make all of the beer they sell, and there's about 17 on offer. Just had a lovely chat with two different guys. One worked in Belfast for about 15 years doing plasma cutting, and the other one worked in London for 10 years. I can't remember what he did. If you come to Riga, go where the Latvians drink, and it's legit. But then having said that, Old Town is where the party is. Part of me is getting a bit of an itch to go back to the chaos of Old Town, just to sort of look on like a rubbernecker at a car accident. People had questions, but really friendly questions, like whereabouts are you from in the UK? Luckily, I'm from just outside London. For anyone from the UK, I'm from Surrey, but if I travel abroad, I just say London, because if I say Surrey, then it becomes a bit of an uphill battle trying to explain what, how, where and why Surrey exists. Put in the comments where you're from, and when you travel abroad, where you say you're from, just to make life easier. And while you're doing that, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm waiting on a Bolt back into Old Town, which will take us there within a few minutes. And apparently it's going to cost €4, which is damn fine. I wish I'd never even bothered with the tram. I just got in the wrong Bolt. I stole someone's Bolt. That is a like Brabus G63 thing there. That's worth a lot of money. This isn't the part of town that I was coming to. This is much closer to where I was. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sorry, my Latvian is not good. I apologise.
In a city centre.
Right, got you. Got you. And what, and move them to the outskirts?
Right.
Ah, well that's good for taxi drivers.
Yeah.
I do think I've kind of got the idea of the Old Town now. It's basically get tourists, stag do's and all the other palaver into the bars and make them basically pay London prices for beer.
Easter. Yeah. You know that? End of the world. Yeah, it means end of the world.
In Greece we have dates of others.
The Old Town in Riga, don't go anywhere near it, there's nothing for you there. I'll see you in the morning, which for me is about 6.5 hours away, but for you is now. And good morning, we are in a little bit of a rush, so we've got to get a move on. Well, another absolutely amazing breakfast at the hotel. I cannot fault that hotel at all. Absolute bargain. But god damn it, the sun is out today. It's shining and we've only got about 45 minutes. I am going to get a Bolt to the airport because it's saying it's about €11 and I want to see how much it does cost for research purposes, not because I'm being lazy. But yeah, it does seem to be much cheaper. Yeah, we've got to go over to this one last park because I need to film something for that TikTok quickly. Even though the sun is beating down, it is still quite cold, so just bear that in mind. I'm told it's cold from about the end of September through to April, no matter what. So if you're coming in those months, make sure you bring warm clothes. I've just about been okay with a fleece and a jacket on. As I said earlier, through the summer months, boat trips come right down this canal thing that runs through the middle of the city, through the parks and everything like that. The more I look at it, the more I wish I could have gone on a boat, Dad. It would be nice just to sit and chill, and because the parks are incredibly nice and very relaxed as well. Right, that's the end of that advert filmed. I've done my job for Uncle Sam, now I'm flying for myself. I probably need to reveal to you, I'm not a nervous flyer, but I am a nervous airport goer. I get a little bit concerned about missing planes. I won't go into the history of it. Now, I've got loads of time to get to the airport, but I do, when it gets to within about an hour before needing to leave for the airport, I start to get a bit, I don't know, is anyone else like that? Does it start to just occupy your mind, but sort of things going wrong on the way and then having to spend another night? I don't know, just me. But yeah, not nervous on planes, nervous about missing them. The Freedom Monument now has soldiers guarding it on parade. And look at this noisy little thing here. Ah, damn it, this isn't the day to be going home. This is the day I should have arrived. Right, let's try and sort a Bolt out to the airport. I cannot recommend the hotel I've stayed in enough, which is the Fianesca Grand Poet Hotel. Absolutely brilliant. It was £90 a night. It's one of the more expensive ones in the whole of Riga, but spa, room, everything absolutely brilliant. So if you're coming and you want to break the bank a little bit, you know, I still think it's brilliant value. Then this is a hotel I've stayed at. It was the best reviewed on one of the big booking apps. But yeah, you can get a room here for about 15 quid if you want to come on a budget. And there are the hostels, but that means staying with those annoying people that we met in the bar at the hostel. Oh, I appreciate it. Well, that couldn't have been any easier. It was €8 and 15 minutes. So actually, if there were more than 3 of you, it would be cheaper just to get a Bolt than it would be to get the bus. I joked the other night about the trams. I do think, I'll own up to it, I do think it was user error on my part. The public transport here is absolutely fine. The roads are safe. The Latvians are amazing. I spoke to loads of them. Didn't meet a single twat the whole time I was here. English is spoken everywhere, so if you have a basic grasp of English, you'll be fine. If you've got this far through the video, I assume you do have a basic grasp of English, or you just like watching the pretty flickering pictures on your screen. I've loved it. When I say I haven't met a single twat the whole time I've been here, I have met lots of twats, but shamefully, they're all British, from backpackers to stag do's to holiday making. This does seem to be a bit of a pilgrimage for idiot British people, but you can hear them and you can stay away from them. And yeah, just stay super polite with the Latvians, and they are amazing. I've had a great time. Come along, hit subscribe if you haven't already, smash the bell icon so you know when I next post. Please hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment. Is that all the admin done? Yes, and then on a personal note, thank you so much for watching these videos. This is only the 3rd long form video I've done. I've been making the little videos for a few years, and it's great having you come along with me. It genuinely makes the whole travelling thing a lot less lonely. It's, you know, having a friend along with you is great. So see you next time, wherever that messed up the last bit. See you next time, wherever it will be.